We can all go home now. I don't know what sermon I can give after that is going to meet that. That was awesome. What Reverend Ken neglected to mention was that when we were in seminary together, we also got in trouble together. This may come as no shocker, but he was an envelope pusher, and so was I. And we really learned the edges of the rules that they had for us and helped them to see that some of the rules were ridiculous and arbitrary. Isn't that pretty much what we did? Yes. So it was an awesome adventure. And nothing speaks, however, to the adventure we have all been through the last year plus with this pandemic. Right? It's been, I'm calling it like, I love that BC before COVID. I'm going to adopt that, right? I'm like, we're now like easing in a pandemic 2.0 apparently. That's a whole thing. But it's not been all horrible. Last year, and it wouldn't have happened unless the pandemic was going on, I found myself in a new relationship. And it's a beautiful relationship, and it's with someone I've known for a few years, so it was also an unexpected relationship. But this is a person who challenges me in ways I didn't know I needed to be challenged. For example, I love cereal. My favorite cereal is this one, Cascadian Farm Vanilla Chia Crunch. I discovered it a few months ago when something else I thought was my favorite cereal was out of stock, and I'm like, let me try this. I got this, and I fell in love with it. Apparently, where I live in the DC metro area, this is a ridiculously difficult cereal to find. I don't know if everybody else loves it as much as I do, or maybe nobody else does, and they don't carry it in stock. I don't know what it is. I can't find this thing anywhere. Every time I show up at stores, there's one box left, no box left. Can't find my favorite cereal. And then one day, she rolls in with 5 boxes. And she said, I had been scouring, thank you. Whew. Saw the word in my brain and just froze. Scouring grocery stores all over, ones that we don't usually go to, in search of those boxes for you. And I found them, and here we are. And I was like, oh, is this what it feels like when I give you flowers? This is amazing. And I was like so moved and like speechless and felt loved for about 4 seconds. And then right after that, I felt a deep, sharp pain of unworthiness. I, for some reason, was triggered into like, I don't deserve somebody like this. I'm not worthy to be loved in this way. And you're thinking, dude, it's just cereal boxes. Get a grip, man. Right? But it wasn't about the cereal boxes, right? It was about all that she held in mind and in consciousness to demonstrate her love for me before she even bought these things. And it triggered this deep wound of unworthiness that I have in me that I'm aware of, that I thought I had done a lot of work on over the years. And then she rolls in with 5 boxes of cereal. And it's like, oh, I am still working. That wound is still there. How many of you in the last 10 years have maybe had a dance or struggle with worthiness in the last 10 years? How about in the last 10 days? How about in the last 10 minutes? Okay. So you're with me. This is our work, so that we may bring peace and healing to ourselves, is to fully love and accept ourselves. Are we all familiar with the 5 love languages, right? It swept the globe. We all know about it. This is how we tell the people in our lives to love us and how we love other people. And she nailed it, right? One of my, depending on what day you ask me, one of my main love languages is gifts. Love to receive gifts, I love to give them. And boom. But I only felt love for about 4 seconds. Because my lack of self-love, my lack of feeling worthy overrode that. And then I realized it doesn't matter what other people do in our lives to love us the way we want to be loved. Unless we love ourselves even more, we're not going to feel that, we're not going to receive that. We can only receive and give love as much as the love that we have for ourselves. That's the bar. We can only give and receive love as much as we love ourselves. And loving ourselves, make no mistake, is spiritual work. It is spiritual work. So I was like, these regular 5 love languages ain't cutting it for me. I need something more. I need spiritual love languages. That I can love myself, accept myself, and return to wholeness. And I'm searching far and wide for these spiritual love languages, and I can't find them anywhere. No one's written them, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm a unity minister. I write them myself. You know what we always talking about, love and unity? So here we go. So I came up with them. 5 affirmations, and then 5 invitations and actions to step into in the moment. So the first one, I am love. Knowing that I am the source of all the love I seek, and I will only feel that love when I fully and unconditionally accept myself. This is where it starts. How many of you have parts of yourselves that you haven't accepted yet? Yeah. If you haven't read it yet, I got a great book recommendation for you. Radical Acceptance by Buddhist teacher Tara Brach. Yeah, read that book and then read it again and then read it one more time. This is our work, to fully accept ourselves, because here's the thing. Whenever we are rejecting part of ourselves, we are not loving ourselves. We gotta accept. And accept doesn't mean okay, it doesn't mean you don't change, but what it means is you stop rejecting parts of yourself. You fully accept yourself. This is who I am, this is how I got here, this is what it is. And to transform it means I have to stop resisting it first. I got to be there in it. That's where it begins. I am love. We are the epitome, the embodiment, the manifestation of divine love. There is nothing less than love in God. That's all God is. That's the essence of who we are. When we are rejecting part of ourselves, we are doing our best to negate that divine truth. And that's why we feel in a state of unease. And when we keep sitting in a place of unease, it may lead to a place of dis-ease. So if you're struggling with ongoing illness, discomfort, look and see how much you're loving yourself. Second one, I am whole. Remembering that every encounter between us, especially the ones I judge to be painful, is an opportunity to heal a triggered wound within me. How many of y'all last week got triggered by something? Yeah. All right. By someone. Who got triggered by someone, right? This is the thing with people in our lives, especially the people closest to us, whom we least expect it from. They are here to trigger the ever-loving you-know-what out of us. And we need to be grateful for that. Why? Because those triggers point to the wounds that we are still carrying around. And we will never fully accept ourselves, fully love ourselves, until we remember that our essence is not only love, our essence is wholeness. There's nothing in us that is broken. There is nothing in us that is bent. We are whole in essence. But we got these wounds that we picked up along the way, whether it's a wound of rejection, abandonment, whatever it is. Some of them are self-inflicted. Some of them have been inflicted by others. Lots of them are just a matter of misinterpretation of what just happened. But regardless of it, we have these wounds. And we soon forget the wounds, ignore the wounds. But we can, because things happen and we get triggered. My girlfriend shows up with 5 boxes of cereal and my wound of unworthiness is triggered. I am whole. So I have to remember that when something happens that triggers me, when someone does a thing that rubs me the wrong way, and we know when we are triggered. How do we know when we are triggered? We feel it in our body. Somebody says or does something, we feel like, feel a little tightness. We feel a little stab. However it manifests for you, we know when we're triggered. And what happens when we are triggered is that we put up the defenses and we want to attack back. Part of it is we get triggered in the wounds and we want to feel safe. We feel our safety is threatened. We're not unsafe on the inside. We are whole. So next time someone triggers you and you feel that trigger, pause. Just stop. Take a breath and say, thank you. Thank you for reminding me where my wound is. And I still have some work to do around healing that wound. Couldn't have done it without you. Especially thank the people who push the buttons you didn't even know you had. Those are the fun ones. Love you, Mom. I am worthy. I am worthy. In the moment, pausing to breathe and center, I affirm that I'm worthy and valuable simply because I exist. Simply because I exist. This is the thing. So many of us believe we have to prove our worthiness, and or the other person has to prove that they are worthy of me. And we put them through all sorts of impossible tests. By the way, we don't always tell them about the tests. And then when they fail them, right, they're like, well, they didn't even know they were being tested. Then we do it to ourselves as well. We didn't even know we were testing ourselves. You are worthy simply because you exist. There's nothing you have to do to prove it. And there's nothing anyone else can say to validate or disprove it. Just because you are here. That's it. Take a load off, people. You ain't got to do nothing. Just because you exist. And it's so hard to remember this. This is my thing. That one is the one that gets me the most. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to succeed. I don't have to be a millionaire. I don't have to be the perfect father. I don't have to be the perfect partner. I don't have to. I just simply need to exist. This is not an excuse for bad behavior. This is an invitation for you to accept yourself. I am whole. I am free. Oh, this is a nice one. Releasing all attachments to any outcomes, I allow us and our relationship to freedom to evolve and run its course, whether it be minutes or a lifetime. You know we like holding on to stuff. And we like holding on to people. We do. When people leave us, it hurts. When people leave us, it hurts. I can mention my wife. She passed away 6 years ago after a sort of brief battle with colon cancer. It was the singular thing that I would say broke me down, and it took me a few years to realize it was really breaking me open. So many of us trap ourselves with the attachments that we have to things and to people. And when we are so determined not to lose that which we love, we act from that place of fear. We act from that place of the triggered wound of abandonment. And we act in such a way that creates the very conditions that lead to the very thing we don't want. We become our own self-fulfilling prophecy. I love that you sang The Colors of the Wind, right? So that was a song that sort of makes references to the native people's idea of we don't own the land. You know, so when Europeans came over and said, this is my piece of land, they're like, what do you mean it's your land? There's no such thing. We don't own anything. We don't own anyone. But we sort of behave like we do. This is mine. You are mine. And we trade a trap. And in doing so, we're not only trying to limit their freedom, but we are limiting our own. Both the prisoner and the jailer are in captivity. I am free. work to create healthy relationships without the attachment of them lasting. And when somebody is clear, when a situation is clear that the time has come to an end, breathe and release, knowing that their leaving is not an indication of your worth, your value, because you are worthy simply because you exist. You are whole. There is nothing that can break you or will ever break you. You are love. And then finally, just for you, Alan, I am light. I am light. Discovering my innate talents, abilities, gifts, I create meaning and purpose from them to share with the world. This is the ultimate act of self-love, people. The ultimate act of self-love is when you get clear about who you are and what is yours to do and be in the world, you do it. Often we don't. Why? Because we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid it will not be accepted, that we will not be accepted. So we seek to protect ourselves by keeping our light under a bushel, as the gospel says. But the poet D.H. Lawrence asks this profound question: which is the greatest form of self-protection, hiding who you are or being who you are? Hiding who you are or being who you are. Because when you step into the full beingness of who you are, ain't nobody taking you down. Ain't nobody putting your light out. And you walk in that energy of worthiness, because I'm worthy simply because I exist. So there ain't nothing you can do or tell me that's going to change that. I'm here shining my light. Too bright for you? Put some shades on. Don't tell me to turn on my light. I am love. I am whole. I am worthy. I am free. I am light. This is how we love ourselves. And this is ultimately how we free ourselves. How we free ourselves from all oppressions, the self-imposed ones and the ones that everybody else tries to impose on us. God's calling. This weekend, we observe the 20th anniversary of the attacks of 9/11. And in the last 20 years, that word freedom has been thrown around a lot. Protect our freedom, save our freedom. We got to go to war in other places for our freedoms. Last year, shouldn't say the first time, but last year, all of a sudden, most of white America woke up and go, oh, look, we have a problem with racism. Better late than never, good on you. Welcome to the party. Or as we people of color call it, Tuesday. We realize that we live in an oppressed world, but here's the thing, okay? Here's what I say to folks. It is okay to be outraged by all of this, but not to be enraged by all of this. Be outraged, see the injustices, realize that it is ours to repair them, but not from a place of being enraged from anger. We have to do it from a place of love. Charles Fillmore says that love is a great harmonizer, and I like to add the addendum, it is also the great liberator. Because when we love ourselves fully, when we step into the 5 divine love languages and we love ourselves fully, we free ourselves. And when we free ourselves from our oppression, we can and know how to free and encourage and create the conditions for the freedom from all oppressions. I'm a person of color living in a country, in a context of white oppressiveness. My liberation comes from me fully loving myself, and guess what? All you white-bodied folks fully loving yourselves too. If you identify as female in a world that is oppressively patriarchal, Your liberation is going to come from you fully loving yourself, and all of us who identify as male loving ourselves fully too. If you identify anywhere in the LGBTQIA community, in this heteronormative, oppressive place, your liberation will come when you love yourself fully, and all of us who identify as heterosexual and straight love ourselves fully too. Any form of oppression can only end when each and one of us, both those of us who are being oppressed and those of us who are doing the oppressing, and you can do both, by the way. Don't think you can't do both. I'm a black man. I got oppression coming my way, but guess what? I'm a straight male. I got my own set of privileges going on because of that. Both the oppressor and the oppressed are in captivity. And we can only free ourselves when we first love ourselves. There's a quote I want to read, if I can find it. Here we go. Jasmine Sayidullah, Dr. Jasmine Sayidullah, one of the authors of the book Radical Dharma, Talking Race, Love, and Liberation. She writes this: we cannot have a healed society, we cannot have change, we cannot have justice if we do not reclaim and repair the human spirit. Imagining anything different is to really have our head buried deeply in the sand of hundreds of years of a culture of domination, colonization, the theft of this land, the theft of a people from their land, and the continued and ongoing theft and appropriation of peoples and cultures on a day-to-day basis that every single one of us is colluding with and participating in consciously and unconsciously. We cannot have a healed society, change, justice, if we do not reclaim and repair the human spirit. And we do this first by truly loving ourselves. Let us take this into time of meditation. So if you're comfortable closing the eyes, or you can leave them open. Let me get a little meditation music behind me there, if you don't mind. Plant both feet on the floor, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. And first, connect with your breath. Just notice the air flowing in and out. The pause between the inhale and the inhale, just notice it. Just breathe naturally. You don't need to be slower or faster. Just notice that breath. Notice what's going on in your body. If anything I said today resonated with you, do you remember where you felt it in your body? Turn your attention to that place and just breathe into that place. Breathe and affirm, I am love. I am whole. I am worthy. I am free. I am light. I am love. I am whole. I am worthy. I am free. I am light. Invite yourself from this moment on, as those wounds get triggered, to simply Stop. Breathe. Center in the truth of the love that you are. And love yourself. Love yourself. All that arises is an opportunity for us to love ourselves. Love yourself. Let us rest in this for a few moments in the silence. And let us take a deep collective inhale together. And release. And I would like to extend an invitation to you if you really want to dive deeper into this work with me. Ken mentioned Project Sanctus. This is my online ministry program. Find me online, projectsanctus.com. We do a lot of anti-racism healing work. And in a couple of months, I'll be doing a workshop on these 5 love languages to dig even deeper. So come do the work with me. Come do the healing with me. Come do the loving yourself with me so that then we can truly rise up and be a bird flying